It's in the name.
Welcome into the Helping Healing Humor podcast with Ben and Travis. We're going to be talking a little bit more about our adventures in the land of the midnight sun right after these messages.
This episode of the Helping Healing Humor with Ben and Travis podcast is brought to you by Faulkner University's Leaders Connect Retreat 2023 on campus in Montgomery, Alabama on June 12th through the 15th. This year's focus is on helping your congregation thrive in a post-pandemic world. Your elders, deacons, preachers, and their wives, future leaders, and Bible class teachers are invited to be encouraged and encourage those who will lead our congregations in the future. You can get more information and register at www.faulkner.edu/leaders-connect-2023 or click on the link in the description of this episode. That's www.faulkner.edu/leaders-connect-2023.
I'm Travis Creasy. That's All-Pro Counselor Ben Hayes.
What's happening, Travis Creasy from the land of the midnight sun? How you doing?
Well, I'm doing pretty well considering we're 30 minutes from midnight and the sun is out at this very moment.
It's crazy,
as
isn't it?
we hang out here at the Brown Bear House in Kenai, Alaska. And let me tell you, this place is amazing.
It is awesome.
Swanktastic. It's a, what is it, Airbnb? That's what
Yeah.
they call those.
Yep.
And so, man, it's open, available. If you ever find yourself in this neck of the woods,
That's right.
man, it's a sweet setup. So,
If you like to fish, you like to just be out in nature, this is a great place. And so we'll probably put a link somewhere so that you can find it.
Definitely.
And, man, it's awesome. Got a
Yeah,
piano
old
right
gun
here.
shop, right? All
Yeah,
kinds
it's
of
an
stuff to
old
look
gun
at
shop.
here. It's great. Amazing
I think it's called
place.
the Brown Bear Guest House or whatever because the guy who lived here killed a brown bear. We held the head of that brown bear
Yes.
earlier today. Used to be a big full mount in this store, and I think it kind of deteriorated some, so just have the head and the paws, and there's some pictures of it around here, so pretty cool.
Yeah. So, it's been a busy couple of days. A lot has gone down since we recorded last.
Yeah.
To be honest, I just haven't felt up to recording because we, at the last time we talked about Twin Peaks, and boy howdy, is that a trip I'll never forget because it took a couple of days to get over it. I'm still not completely over it, but hopefully got back on the trails today, saw some stuff. But
did.
because I was feeling under the weather, the Friday after we arrived, you and Jackson got to go out and kind of hit the trails. So
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about that, and then we'll talk about some of the other things that have happened since then.
And that was a really fun day just to go hang out with Jackson. He came up here as kind of his senior trip and, got to come up here with us. I think he had a good time at the youth rally as well. They had some crazy games and stuff. We'll get to that later. But yeah, we took off out of Anchorage and went down the Anchorage Seward Highway, I believe is what it's called, or something along that line. But it's the main one that goes down the ocean. We took a bunch of pictures going in, went to a little ski resort and looked around. Didn't ski. That would have been terrible for both of us, I'm sure. We didn't ski, but we kind of looked around there. And then we got back out to the highway and were about to head back. And Jesse texted us and said, "Why don't you just hang a left and go down there to Whittier?" And Whittier's a neat little town on the ocean in a little bay. There's only a couple of ways you can get to it. You can drive through a mile-long tunnel that is a one lane that shares the one lane with railroad tracks. So the train goes through, or you can drive through it, or you can take a boat to it, or you can land on a really sketchy airstrip is what the people who lived there told us. So apparently the best way in is through the tunnel. Postmaster has had to ski over the pass before just to get the mail in and out. But man, I felt like we were on the deadliest catch when I got back there because it was this fishing town. It was windy. It was raining. We ate in a little fish and chips place, and it was cool.
Yeah,
It
you
was
can
really
see
cool.
A lot of the pictures, the things that we've done there thus far at facebook.com/Ben and Travis, been taking a bunch of pictures. We've all been taking a bunch, kind of uploading them as we go every day. But that's cool that you and him got to go together.
Yeah,
And then,
it
of
was
course,
awesome.
you mentioned the Alaska State Youth Forum that started that Friday evening.
Yep.
You and I both got to speak on Friday, despite you can hear probably a little bit my voice isn't where it usually is. It certainly wasn't on Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, we were both struggling.
And Sunday, but Lord willing, we got through it. So Friday night, we have the state youth forum for Alaska. We're there. I think that was the slingshot game.
Yes,
night,
I believe so.
where they were shooting them through the hula hoops.
Yeah,
You can
like
see
the little bags.
some of
like
that footage
cornhole bags
on our TikTok.
That's right.
Clipped up. And then Saturday, we were at that state youth forum for 13 hours. You and I both took 2 lessons.
A piece. Yeah.
And, of course, they were Olympic events
Oh man.
all day long. Your team finished in second. Congratulations.
That's right.
Jackson's team finished in third. So, bragging rights. The
there you
old
go.
man has still got it. And if you've not seen it, once again, on TikTok, you can see Ben throwing the javelin. Now, I did not
Only person who made it.
Yeah, I didn't get the actual where you made it, but man, you could sling that. Jackson's not so bad either.
Yeah. It was. I mean, like, they go hard.
Oh,
They go hard at the youth forum
the
here in
land of
Alaska.
midnight sun does
I
not
think-
play around.
I don't think they play around with anything, but they certainly weren't with the youth forum. 13 hours of it, and those kids were engaged. They were asking questions. They were listening. They had some amazing food.
Yeah.
Like the ladies cooked. I mean, it wasn't like your pizza and hot dogs and hamburgers. So, we may have to step this thing up, Alabama.
Yeah. I know if we start doing shout outs, we're going to ultimately leave
Oh, yeah.
somebody out. Miss Judy, we got to say, got us here,
Yep.
got us organized. Scott, Ben, Matt's the
games.
man of ceremonies. Of course, Jess has been running us around ever since. But
Celia.
Celia,
Yes,
Anchorage
yeah.
Church of Christ, just in general, great
been
group
awesome.
of people. If you're ever in the area, make it your business.
And Valley.
Go hang out with those
Valley
people.
was there.
Valley
I think,
came,
the Valley
so-
Church Cross.
Had some great people, great questions. We enjoyed presenting our Helping Healing Humor stuff. We'd love to come to your church. We've got several dates going. So, and then Sunday we get up and I preach the Sunday morning sermon. You do the last lesson of the youth forum devotional. Then we go eat lunch with Jess, and then I come back on Sunday night
Preach it up
and
again.
preach again. So the voice is recovering. It is 11:30 though, and I think it's gotten
just driving it
just
deeper and deeper.
keeping. So, just a great event.
Yeah,
They do a
yeah.
wonderful job. Everybody the food was
telling you, the
amazing
food
at the
was great.
event. Some of the best youth rally food ever.
Yeah, not
So,
your hamburgers and hot dogs and pizza. I mean, it was fantastic stuff. And if I start trying to think of what all, I mean, it was like breakfast, lunch, supper. I mean, it was good stuff.
Yeah. And then today, we got up, made a day of it, made our way to the very place we're sitting right now, and made stops along the way.
Yep.
Beluga Point was early. I think you
Saw
guys
some-
kind of hit that too when you
We did,
were on your own.
but it was real rainy and windy. It was a little bit tamer today. Still windy out on that kind of where the ocean comes in, the inlet. But I didn't know when we were coming through with Jackson that day. We didn't know to look for the doll sheep,
Oh,
and
wow,
they
yeah.
were up there today. We turned around and there's just this huge herd of them, and so there's some pictures that you'll have access to see those, and then we made our way around from there past where we turned to go to Whittier and kept on going and went down to Seward. And Seward's another little fishing town, really cool. A lot of people take cruises out of there. I'm sure some of you guys that are listening have probably taken a cruise out of Seward or to Seward. The train runs through there as well. So a lot of people go to Anchorage and then I think take the train to either Whittier or Seward and catch the cruises. And it's a really cool little
Man,
town.
I mean, anytime you've got, and Whitney was making mention of this, you got the beach and the mountains
It's just
right there
gorgeous.
together. You know, typically our neck of the woods, you got to choose one or the other.
One or the other.
And so to have both,
you go to the mountains or you go to the beach.
yeah, to have both, that's
But you didn't
pretty
see a
impressive.
whole lot of people playing in this water.
No,
It
no,
was
very
ice cold
yes,
water.
windy.
But
Trying
we saw
to
some
keep from getting sick again, covering my head, and I usually always mess up because I'm like, the place I don't need an extra layer, I have an extra layer, and the place I really need it, I don't, and so I'm just shooting to keep my ears covered the best I can.
Saw some seals, I guess. Was that what it was? Or
Sea lions.
Sea lions. That's what it was.
sea lions is what it was.
Saw those. Saw some
Real close.
Yeah, they were just right out there. Didn't want to get eaten, so we stayed back. Saw some bald eagles all over the place. They're everywhere out here. And like I said, the doll sheep. I mean, we've seen a lot of things.
Ate at the Highliner.
The Highliner.
The Highliner
Yeah.
had some excellent clam chowder.
I think we had seafood chowder, which had clam and some other stuff in it, and then had some fish and chips. Went up to Exit Glacier.
It was on to the glacier.
Glacier
Snow
was fantastic.
at the end of May. Snow on Memorial Day.
Yeah, we had to trudge through some snow to get to this glacier. And you want to talk about feeling small? We got back here tonight, and I'm looking through my pictures from my camera, not just my phone, but started looking through them. I was like, what are those dots? And so zoomed in with my computer, and the dots were people on the glacier. We didn't even see them. From where we were looking, we could just see that, and a glacier just looks like another mountain between two mountains, and it's just ice. It's just, sliding down the mountain. Of course, these are kind of receding. I think they're melting a little bit, and so you can see this one is kind of exiting backwards. It's just melting off. So they had signposts from like, here's where it was in the 1800s, and I mean like a mile down the road to the early 1900s, and then every so many years they put a stake in the ground and show where it was at.
I think it was on the way to the glacier on the road where we saw the moose.
We did see a moose
that was walking
hobbling a little,
right down the yellow line, right down the middle. So everybody was at a stop, and it limped its way off the road. So that was something neat that happened.
But I mean, those glaciers and these mountains just make you feel small, because then once you recognize that those are people, you go, wow, that was even bigger than I thought it was.
Oh, it's monstrous.
So, it seems
It doesn't even look real.
No,
it looks like a green screen.
Yep.
It's one of those things that you're like, this is otherworldly, but no, it's not. It's right there in your face. And so
just the absolute beauty of God's creation in the state of Alaska is awe-inspiring.
On display.
I mean, I knew it was beautiful, but you just can't appreciate it.
I think you've said this a
You've
couple of
seen it.
times, but everything's scenic.
Everything.
Here. The most scenic Dollar General, the most
Walmart.
scenic school bus. You'll see. So pretty wild.
I mean, everything is scenic. You look around. Of course, we're kind of down in an area right now that's more flat. This area of Kenai is real flat. It's a fishing town. The mountains are not just like rising up around us like they are in Anchorage and other places. But when you just start driving and you look way off on the horizon, you can see the mountain ranges, and you can see a volcano. We saw a volcano in the distance, and I think he said tomorrow, as we make our way down to the Homer area, we'll see maybe 2 volcanoes. And it's so like massive here.
Yeah.
So this area of Kenai, we were being told earlier, is the reason kind of that hunting became popular up here. So moose hunting really became popular right here on this peninsula, because there were some hunters back in the 1800s that came here and started hunting and started guiding and almost killed them off. And then they pushed to make it a reserve, and so there's a lot of moose. I'm sure we'll see some at some point this week while we're here. But yeah, so what do you think was the best thing we saw today in your opinion?
Oh man, it was just honestly after the last few days after Twin Peaks, it was just good to get back out and see some things. Because for a while there, I was like, we're going to be able to do this youth thing, and then I'm going to have to stay home.
Yeah.
And just kind of rest up and get ready for the flight home. But instead, we got out and got to see some stuff. So, man, it was just beautiful. Feeling it was cold. I mean, we just went through so many different climates. It was wild.
It was wild.
But to experience it and just kind of take it in and realize, these are the days that you fight for, that you live for, that you kind of struggle through some things to get to moments like this. And so, man, that's really hard. I mean, you think about the beauty that you take with your camera, and then to show my friends that the sun was still out at 7:30 p.m.
And 11:30.
I just stuck my phone up through the windshield and snapped a pic, and it was like the best shot I've probably taken this whole time. And it was just because I was aiming at the sun trying to get it. So, getting back out, feeling like getting out, and hopefully not overdoing it again.
Yeah, hope not.
What about you?
I mean, there was so many good things. I think I enjoyed the hike up to the glacier. I just enjoyed not just the glacier. It was a really cool hike. So like the glaciers sort of cut the rock as they come down through it. They grind it down. And if you walking up through there and you're walking where the glacier has been at one point before it started kind of, receding or whatever. And so
under pressure.
Yeah, it's under pressure. Exactly. I mean, thousands of tons of pressure, and it's sliding down. And so it just cuts into these rocks, and it's just like slate rock or whatever. And you can kind of, it's like stair steps. I mean, I'm sure some of them were cut, but I think a lot of it's just natural. And so we're just climbing up this rock, and then all of a sudden here's the glacier in front of you. And, it was just really cool to see it. We had to trudge through snow to get to it, and through moose droppings and all sorts of good things. So that was probably my favorite thing that we saw, even though some of the other scenery was just unreal. I love the little sea towns, the little fishing towns. Mm-hmm. They're just great. And I just like seeing all the boats out there and the ocean with the mountains surrounding it. So, I don't know. It's really hard for me to say this one's the one.
This episode of the Helping Healing Humor podcast is brought to you by the 2023 Heritage event on Saturday, August 26th, featuring an incredible night of music from the frontmen of Country, the Secret Sisters, and Cadence Baker. General admission tickets and table sponsorships are available for purchase. For more information, visit www.hcu.edu. The mission of Heritage Christian University is simple. They aim to advance the churches of Christ by equipping servants through undergraduate and graduate programs. HCU produces effective communicators of the gospel, focusing on evangelism and a commitment to Scripture. Heritage Christian University offers the following degrees: Associate of Arts in Biblical Studies, Bachelor of Arts in Biblical Studies, Master of Arts, Master of Ministry, and Master of Divinity. HCU is accredited by the Association for Biblical Higher Education and is an associate member of the Association of Theological Schools. Since 1968, Heritage Christian University has offered affordable degrees in biblical studies, allowing graduates to thrive in their ministries without the burden of loan debt. For the fall 2023 semester, HCU is offering full tuition scholarships for graduate-level students. For more information about Heritage Christian University or the annual Heritage event, visit www.hcu.edu.
So, as we do these episodes, we've been giving out some benefits of being outside and in nature. And so, Ben, why don't you share with us the Batify Freedom 5K positive of being outdoors?
Well, I think when you start thinking about just the connection to nature, I mean, you think about the things that we've seen today and just that positive part of just being out in it, of seeing it. For us, especially the connection with God, that it's, I don't look at those things and just go, oh, wow, that was amazing how those things just happened to get here. When I look at those things, everything that we saw today, from the animals that can somehow live in that ice cold water, here in Alaska, to the eagles that fly around all over the place, to the glaciers that slide down the mountains. Everything just screams out God. So I think it's that time and that stuff that you see out there that's just incredible. Those connections with, not just with nature. I think some people can say, hey, I'm connected to nature, but we not only connect to the nature, but to the one who created it.
Yes.
And it shows us, purpose, and it gives us a sense of purpose and meaning and direction in our lives. And I think for a lot of people it does that, even for those who may not believe in God. There is a little bit of that, but for us there's that connection to the one who made it.
Yeah, this has been here either in isolation the whole time, and now we get to witness it, or there are people who have gone before us who've seen it, subdued it, said it so that we can see things like this. So yeah, I think it connects generations of human beings. It connects us to nature, which of course we believe points us to the Creator, which gives us purpose, which is the reason why we've been here for this whole trip. And this place here belongs to people who are members of the Church of Christ, and so it's really neat that all those things line up. And it's just been a great trip with lots of pictures you can check out and videos, and of course we've wanted to keep you updated through the podcast. So,
well, and even yesterday, we've been talking about today, but yesterday with the church and Saturday with the church, just knowing that we have family no matter where we go. We've traveled to West Virginia and Ohio and to Texas and now to Alaska, and everywhere we go we have family. Everywhere we go we have a connection with people, and that is maybe the most glorious and amazing part of all.
Absolutely. So to all of you out there, friends and family around the world, we thank you for supporting this podcast. We would love for a 5-star review, a rate, and share with your friends, and we'll talk at you again soon.
The Helping Healing Humor podcast with Ben and Travis is brought to you by Freedom 5K on July the 8th. We will be running it in the Shoals area, and all proceeds go to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. I hate to see children suffer. I used to avoid St. Jude commercials because I just couldn't bear to see the images of kids fighting for their life against a dreaded disease. Then one day we got the call. Several weeks before, doctors in Huntsville had performed surgery on my son to remove a small tumor on his face. The call was from St. Jude. The doctors in Memphis wanted to take more margin around the tumor and run more tests. Within days, we were walking the halls and pulling cypress in the famous Little Red Wagons. I had to see the kids, a lot of them, some in wheelchairs, many missing hair as a result of their treatments, people from all over the world and all different backgrounds. All came for one reason: hope. Hope that they would be able to find a cure. It's that hope that gets me to run even when I don't feel like it. I run not for me, but for the young ones. I run to give them hope. Thankfully, my son is doing well. He bears the mark of St. Jude on his left cheek in the form of a scar. But it's a reminder to me of the fight that other kids are still fighting every day. The Freedom 5K on July 8th is just one more way to raise money for St. Jude. If you can run, then we hope that you will sign up. If you would like to sponsor, you can do that too. For more information or to register, go to benandtravis.com/store. That's benandtravis.com/store. Thanks for being with us for this episode of the Helping Healing Humor podcast. Be sure to download our free ebook, 28 Days of Focused Living, at benandtravis.com and receive all of our Helping Healing and Humor extra content directly in your inbox. We look forward to having you join us at the same Ben and Travis time, same Ben and Travis channel.